The 3rd of February 2026. The US shot down an Iranian drone. There's a critical summit in Istanbul on February 6. If this summit fails, the Strait of Hormuz could close. And after that, 25 disasters in 30 days. Day 1, February 6, 2:47 p.m. Istanbul time. Disaster Hasson. Istanbul summit collapses. Strait closes. The diplomats gathered at the Four Seasons in Beyoğlu can't look each other in the eye. The US delegation walks out. Iran's foreign minister sends a green light message to Tehran. At 4:22 p.m., the first mine drops into the Strait of Hormuz. The waterway carrying 21% of the world's oil, 80 million barrels of crude per day, is now closed. Radars on the USS Abraham Lincoln detect the minefield, but it's too late to intervene. 17 tankers waiting in the Persian Gulf change course. Arab captains scream over the radio, "Strait's closed! Strait's closed!" Red alert on Bloomberg terminals. This isn't just a diplomatic disaster. This is the first knife plunged into the bleeding artery of modern civilization. Disaster #2. Crude oil prices jump 15% per hour. 18 minutes after news of the summit, WTI, West Texas Intermediate. Rockets from $120 to $138 per barrel. At London market opening, Brent crude hits $142. By noon, $165. By 10 p.m., $183. A 52% increase in a single day. Traders in Houston can't believe their screens. A hedge fund manager in New York punches his monitor, breaks his hand. Frankfurt's DAX index closes down 8%. Paris's CAC, 40 inches freefall. Tokyo will open tomorrow morning down 11%. Trading volume in Singapore's oil derivatives market multiplies by 6. Everyone's selling, everyone's buying, nobody knows what's real anymore. Only one thing's clear. Tomorrow morning, the price boards at gas pumps will burn, and the burning's just getting started. Disaster #3. Global markets crash in 2 hours. Wall Street opens at 9:30 a.m. The Dow Jones Industrial Average loses 4,847 points in 2 hours and 17 minutes, down 12.3%. A collapse not seen since the 2020 pandemic. Nasdaq melts 14.8%. Tech stocks hemorrhaging because logistics stopped, production will stop, consumer spending will freeze. Circuit breakers trigger on 487 stocks in the S&P 500. At the Chicago Commodities Exchange, wheat futures jump 23%. Everyone's hoarding, terrified of starvation. London's FTSE 100 has its worst day in history. The Euro Stoxx 50 index plunges from €385 to €312. Asian markets already closed, but tomorrow's opening will see Shanghai down 16%, Hang Seng 18%, Nikkei 13%. A retired teacher in Miami checks her 401k, dropped from $340,000 to $287,000. She's crying. In Germany, a family business shareholder thinks about jumping from his balcony, but his daughter holds him back. Days 2 to 3. Panic spreads to the pumps. Disaster #4. First fights break out at gas stations. Morning of February 7, an Aral station in Berlin opens at 6:15 a.m. There's a 200-meter queue. Within an hour, the pumps run dry. Customers screaming. One man grabs the attendant by the collar. "I filled up last night. How's it empty this morning?" At a Shell station in Hamburg, 2 drivers throw punches. One smashes his head on broken glass. In Paris, at a Total station on the Périphérique Ring Road, police intervene with tear gas. In London, queues form at 4 a.m. at stations on the M25. A tanker driver pulls out his key and presses it to his chest. "Kill me, but there's no gas." In the US, every station on the New Jersey Turnpike has a 90-minute wait. In Los Angeles, a woman forgets the pump running. 40 liters spill onto the asphalt. No maniac sets it on fire, but everyone's ready and waiting. In Miami, 2 armed men stop a tanker truck and threaten the driver, "Come to our neighborhood or else." In Dallas, a pump attendant gets scared of the crowd and closes the shutters. Glass breaks. Disaster #5. Germany opens emergency reserves. Berlin, February 8. The Chancellor holds an emergency press conference. Eyes bloodshot. 2 days of stubble on his chin. Decision made to use the Strategische Oil Reserve, the 90-day emergency oil reserve. Hamburg port has massive tanks holding 24 million barrels of crude. Pumping begins to refineries in Ingolstadt. But there's a problem. This oil is Brent blend, not the Saudi light crude from Hormuz. Refinery settings need adjustment. 4-day process. Meanwhile, the market bleeds. Munich refineries operating at 40% capacity. Volkswagen's Wolfsburg factory announces partial production shutdown. Trucks carrying plastic parts aren't coming, no diesel. BASF's Ludwigshafen chemical complex reduces shifts. A logistics firm in Nuremberg parks 280 of its 340 trucks. Drivers unemployed. Unemployment offices starting to fill. And this is just Germany. France too, Italy too, Poland too, all implementing the same reserve strategy. But after 90 days, nobody dares ask that question. Disaster #6. U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve draining. Washington, D.C. February 8. White House press secretary steps to the podium. The president has signed an order releasing 1 million barrels per day from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Salt caverns on the Texas and Louisiana coasts hold 350 million barrels. In theory, 350 days worth. In practice, the Biden administration had used 180 million barrels in 2022. The reserve was already down 45%. Now the Trump administration grabs the same strategy, but this time the global markets collapsed. Released oil goes to refineries but doesn't lower consumer prices because speculators are asking, what happens in 30 days? At the Beaumont refinery in Texas, engineers calculate reserve oil is heavier, higher sulfur content. Processing time increases, yield decreases. Tankers in the Houston Ship Channel can't get into the unloading queue, ports clogged. Chevron's Richmond refinery in California imposes mandatory overtime on workers, union objects. In Phoenix, gas prices jump from $5.80 to $7.20. Denver hits $8.10. New York City $8.95. A Manhattan cabbie considers selling his car and buying a Metro card. Days 4 to 7. The economy starts trembling. Disaster #7. European gas prices triple. February 10. Gas prices in Germany rocket from €2.10 to €6.40 per litre. France hits €6.85. Italy €7.20. In a country already in chronic economic crisis where average salary is €1,400. Filling a tank means €110. A middle-class accountant in Rome leaves his car in the garage and gets on a bike. Madrid metro stations packed. Everyone's abandoned their cars. Even EU bureaucrats in Brussels switching to public transport. In Poland, farmers can't find diesel for tractors. Near Warsaw, a farm has 200 acres of wheat unplanted, tractor tanks empty. In Greece, tourism sector collapsing. Hotels in Thessaloniki flooded with cancellations. Athens taxi drivers on strike. We make €10, €8 goes to gas. In Vienna, a supermarket chain cuts its truck fleet by 60%. No more Spanish tomatoes on the shelves. Flour exports from Holland stopped. Cargo terminals at Schiphol Airport, ghost town silent. Bicycle numbers in Amsterdam triple, but nobody's romanticizing it. Just trying to survive. Disaster #8. Factories start shutting down. February 12. First factory closure announced in Germany's industrial heartland, the Ruhr. ThyssenKrupp steel plant in Essen cuts production 70%. 4,200 workers sent home. Henkel chemical factory in Düsseldorf halves shifts. Mercedes-Benz in Stuttgart stops the production line. Plastic parts supplier from Poland can't send trucks, diesel too expensive. BMW's Dingolfing plant near Munich goes into Kurzarbeit, short-time work. 9,000 workers will get 60% of their salary. Airbus Toulouse assembly line slowing down in France. Fiat Turin factory completely closes in Italy, hadn't recovered from the pandemic anyway. Jaguar Land Rover Solihull plant in England, production stopped. Seat Barcelona factory in Spain lays off 40% of workers. At Volkswagen Poznań engine factory in Poland, banners go up. Bez paliwa, bez pracy. No fuel, no work. At Škoda's Mladá Boleslav plant in Czech Republic, Workers block managers' vehicles. Europe's automotive sector, employing 12 million people, on its knees. And the dominoes just started falling. Days 8 to 11. Infrastructure cracking. Disaster #9. US truck driver strike. February 14. Valentine's Day. But there's no love at a truck stop in Arkansas. 340 trucks parked. Drivers coordinating on CB radios. Diesels hit $8.40, brother. We can't do this. Convoy stopped on Interstate 40. Road to Little Rock blocked. Near Oklahoma City, 200 trucks parked side by side on I-35. No vehicles can pass. On Istanbul, Texas, state troopers intervene against striking drivers. On I-75 heading to Atlanta, trucks lined up for 15 miles. Drivers lay American flags on the asphalt, writing, "No diesel, no America." In California, containers piled up at Long Beach Port. No trucks, no transport. 18,000 tons of cargo waiting at Chicago O'Hare Cargo Terminal. FedEx hub in Memphis operating at 30% capacity. No fresh fruit reaching New York. Orange juice trucks from Florida not moving. Milk tanks filling up at Minnesota dairy farms but not getting to supermarkets. A Wisconsin farmer pours 3,000 liters of milk into a field, tears streaming. Been doing this 60 years. Never thought I'd see this. Disaster #0. Supermarket shelves. Emptying. February 16. 8 a.m. panic. At a Carrefour in Paris's 11th arrondissement. Bread shelf. Empty. Pasta section. Like a ghost town. No rice left. Not a single bag of flour on the shelf. A woman grabs the last can of tomatoes, shoves another woman. "I have kids!" she screams. Security intervenes. At Tesco Express in London, canned goods shelves cleared in 3 hours. Customers at Asda in Manchester hoarding canned tuna like they're stocking toilet paper. Berlin Lidl has a 400-person queue at 6:30 a.m. When doors open, stampede. An old man falls, gets trampled, heart attack. Ambulance can't come. No diesel. Man dies in the supermarket aisle. At a Conad in Rome, oil shelves empty. Can't find olive oil, no trucks from Spain. At Esselunga in Milan, out of toilet paper. Why are people hoarding toilet paper? Makes no sense, but pandemic reflex is back. Fight breaks out at a Mercadona in Madrid. Police intervene with batons. Biedronka stores in Warsaw. Flour shelves depleted. In Poland, bread is sacred, but no trucks bringing wheat. Kaufland chain in Czech Republic imposes 2-can limit per person. Albert Heijn manager in Amsterdam assigns security guards to employees. Getting threats. Stock the shelves, or we'll burn this place. Disaster #9. UK. Natural gas prices. Up 400%. February 17. London. February. Average temperature 4 degrees Celsius. 85% of British homes heat with natural gas. But service boats to North Sea gas platforms aren't going. No diesel. Can't do maintenance. Production down 30%. Pipelines from Norway working normally but not enough. Spot gas price jumps from 100 pence therm to 523 pence therm. A family with an October bill of £180 now faces £890. In Manchester, a retired couple maxes out credit cards before the bill arrives, stockpiling food. Birmingham family turns off the heater, wraps in blankets. In Leeds, a woman gathers with apartment neighbours in one room for a warming party. 11 people in a single living room. Newcastle Elderly Centre drops thermostat from 22 degrees Celsius to 14 degrees Celsius. Old people sitting there shivering. In Glasgow, cases of hypothermia hospitalisation hit 40 per day. NHS already collapsed. Now adding freezing deaths. A doctor tells BBC, "This is 21st century Britain. People freezing to death. And we're helpless." Days 12 to 15. Unemployment tsunami. Disaster has sown too. Germany's first unemployment wave. February 19. Bundesagentur für Arbeit, Federal Employment Office. Systems in Nuremberg. Crashing 2 million new unemployment applications. Servers can't handle it. A Mercedes engineer waits at the Arbeitsamt, unemployment office, entrance in Munich. folder in hand, shirt and tie, 20 years experience. "Never thought I'd be here," he says. Hamburg logistics firm fires 680 of 840 employees. Single email. Frankfurt chemical company announces Kurzarbeit, short-time work, but salaries already down 40%. Berlin ad agency closes, clients cutting budgets, campaigns cancelled. Cologne restaurant chain closes 9 of 12 locations. Automotive suppliers in Stuttgart completely stopped. Bosch, Mahler, ZF Friedrichshafen starting layoff waves. Dresden family business declares bankruptcy after 87 years. Owner can't tell his father who has Alzheimer's. Aldi cashier in Essen goes home, looks at her 14-year-old son. Only essentials now. Netflix cancelled, phone plan to minimum. Kid cries. Germany, Europe's economic engine, blown head gasket, pistons starting to seize. Disaster Hasson 3. Major protests and looting in Paris streets. February 20. Champs, Élysée. Yellow vests are back. But this time not just yellow, red, blue, black, every color. 85,000 people. Molotov cocktail explosion in front of Arc de Triomphe. CRS, police firing tear gas but crowd not backing down. Windows of Louis Vuitton store on Rue de Rivoli smashing. Looters rush in but not taking bags, going straight for the register. Want cash. Montmartre market set on fire. Vehicle torched in front of Renault headquarters in Boulogne-Billancourt. Attack on prefecture building in Lyon. Dock workers clashing with police at Marseille port. Protest in front of European Parliament building in Strasbourg. Banner reads, "EU abandoned us." Bank branch firebombed in Toulouse. Police van overturned and burned in Nice. 3 dead in Bordeaux clashes. 1 a 17-year-old kid. Macron holding emergency security meeting at Élysée Palace. Deploying the army to streets discussed but not taken. Not yet. At 3 a.m. Paris lights look normal from a distance. But up close, streets smell of smoke, Molotov, broken glass and blood. Disaster Hasson 4. 15 U.S. states implement gas rationing. February 21. California governor signs emergency order. Maximum 10 gallons per person per week. Vehicles with even-numbered last digit on license plate can pump Monday, Wednesday, Friday, odd numbers Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Sunday completely closed. A driver in Los Angeles scrapes off the last digit and changes it. Gets caught, $5,000 fine plus 6 months jail. New York State brings similar rules. In Florida, Ron DeSantis caps gas prices at $6.50 gallon, but stations close pumps saying no stock. Gas on black market $15 gallon. Greg Abbott in Texas declares emergency but doesn't impose rationing. Free market guy. Gas in Houston hits $9.20 gallon, but everyone's buying. Arizona, Nevada, Oregon have rationing. Illinois gives special allocation to farmers. Tractors get priority. But a Chicago cabbie screams in the street, "What about me? Should I starve?" Pennsylvania introduces special coupon system for truck drivers. In Michigan, Detroit auto workers unemployed but can still pump. Nowhere to go to work anyway. DC gives special allocation to federal employees. Protests. Elites fill up first, we gonna starve. Fake coupon operation in Miami. 12 arrested. Disaster Hasson 5. European airlines cancel 60% of flights. February 22. Lufthansa cancels 210 of 340 flights from Munich hub. Frankfurt Airport ghost town silent. Normally 1,300 flights daily, now 480. Jet fuel, kerosene. Price hit $280 per barrel. No profitable routes exist. British Airways from London. Heathrow only continues. New York, Dubai, and Singapore. All short-haul cancelled. Air France at Paris, Charles de Gaulle cut 65% capacity. Iberia at Madrid Barajas has half its fleet in hangars. KLM at Amsterdam Schiphol announces economic downsizing, 8,400 layoffs coming. Alitalia's successor ITA Airways at Rome Fiumicino on brink of bankruptcy. Aegean Airlines in Greece stopped Athens Istanbul service. SAS in Copenhagen files for bankruptcy protection. Norwegian airplanes at Oslo Gardermoen sitting rusting. Brussels Airlines planes at Zaventem like abandoned toys on the runway. Vueling fleet at Barcelona, El Prat shrunk 70%. At Dublin Airport, Ryanair CEO O'Leary hits microphone at press conference. If this damn strait doesn't open, aviation will die. This moment, Europe's skies going silent. No contrails. Just hazy, dull, planeless sky. Days 16 to 20. Power cuts, hope fading. Disaster Hashonisics. Power outages in Italy and Greece. February 24. Lights go out at 6:30 p.m. in Rome. Old buildings in Trastevere plunged into darkness. Even Vatican switching to generators. 40% of Italy's electricity from natural gas. Gas prices gone insane. Eni Energy Company starts rolling blackouts. Each region without power 4 to 6 hours daily. Cutoff starts 2 p.m. in Naples. Ports stop. Container cranes freeze. Squatters living in old Fiat factory buildings in Turin lighting candles. Milan metro stops. People walking home in -2 degrees Celsius. Uffizi Gallery in Florence closed. No climate control, artworks at risk. Water pumps in Venice stop. Acqua alta, high water, risk increases. In Palermo, hospitals switch to generators but running out of diesel, operating rooms closing one by one. Worse in Greece. Athens has 8-hour daily cuts. People in Thessaloniki collecting firewood at seaside, burning it for heat. At Patras, a market can't run generator, meat section rotting, stench spreading. Village on Crete Island without power for 3 days. Old people freezing. Tourism hotels on roads completely closed. Dark, cold, empty. Disaster Hassan 7. Wall Street second crash. Total 35%. Loss. February 25. New York Stock Exchange opens. Last 20 days fully reflected in prices now. Dow Jones dropped from 38,400 to 24,960. 35% loss. S&P 500 similar. Nasdaq down 41%. Tech companies slaughtered. Tesla shares down 62%. Elon Musk lost $180 billion of his wealth. Amazon down 38%. Logistics collapsed. Deliveries stopped. Apple down 33%. Supply chain broken. iPhone 17 launch postponed. Meta, Google, Microsoft down 36%, 31%, 29% respectively. Even energy stocks, ExxonMobil, Chevron, dropping because nobody believes refineries will profit anymore. Financial sector, Goldman Sachs down 42%, JP Morgan 38%, Bank of America 44%. Chicago commodity trader emptying his office, packing stuff in cardboard boxes. Miami hedge fund goes bankrupt. San Francisco startup accelerator closing, 38 of 40 portfolio companies finished. Manhattan private equity fund CEO looking down from 27th floor office. Thinks about jumping. Doesn't, because you have to start somewhere. But where? Markets crashed. System crashed. Now just survival. Days 21 to 25. Civilization's mask falling. Disaster Hasson 8. Freezing deaths mid. Winter. 500 plus lost in Germany. February 27. Berlin night temperature drops to -8 degrees Celsius. 73-year-old Frau Schmidt in a Kreuzberg apartment can't be found in the morning. Neighbor breaks down the door. Woman in bed, wrapped in blanket, frozen. Heating off 4 days, couldn't pay gas bill. Hamburg homeless shelter capacity 200 but 640 people crammed in. No hygiene, disease spreading. Munich, 300 people staying in Marienplatz metro overnight. A security tries to evict but police don't intervene, being humane. Tent city along Rhine River in Cologne grown 1,200 people. Freezing deaths 3 to 4 nightly. Dortmund church opens doors, 800 people shelter. Priest can't pay electric bill anymore but says, Jesus would do this. Essen family, mother, father, 3 kids, staying in car, running engine for heat. Carbon monoxide poisoning. All found dead in morning. Stuttgart hospitals have 340 hypothermia patients. Dresden morgues full. Leipzig, cremation ovens backed up. No gas, intermittent power, bodies waiting. Federal Statistics Office, Destatis, not releasing numbers, but leaks say over 500 freezing deaths in 3 weeks. German public in shock. We're a developed country, this can't happen to us, they said. It's happening. Disaster Hassaninin. Martial law declared in London and Berlin. February 28, 8 p.m. UK Prime Minister on television. His Majesty's government has declared a state of emergency for national security. London, Birmingham, Manchester and Glasgow will have 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew. Screen shows a serious, exhausted, frightened face. Military vehicles patrol London streets. Challenger 2 tank parked in Trafalgar Square. Armed soldiers at Piccadilly Circus. Checkpoint at Westminster Bridge. Papers please. ID checks. Brixton Group on street despite ban. Police using batons. Camden pub worker going out late. Elitary team throws him down and cuffs him. Tower Hamlets Mosque, trying to stay open for evening prayer. Forced closed. Berlin similar. Chancellor signs. Emergency decree. Curfew. 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Bundeswehr on streets. Leopard 2 tanks in front of Brandenburger Tor. Friedrichshain anarchist group protesting the ban. Tear gas. Pepper spray. Batons. Neukölln Turkish neighborhood. Shopkeepers trying to keep shutters open. Forced closed. Prenzlauer Berg. Mother needs to take child to hospital at night. Ambulance not coming. Tries herself. Soldiers stop her. Child dies in car. Sepsis. 6 years old. Mother screaming but nobody hears. Europe's freest cities now under soldier boots. Disaster #20. US hospital ERs collapsing. March 1. Henry Ford Hospital ER in Detroit not accepting ambulances for 18 hours. On diversion. Ambulances forced to go to hospital 40 miles away. But ambulances have no diesel. Heart attack patient dies en route. Cook County Hospital in Chicago. Corridors full of gurneys. Patients lying on floors. Nurses on shift 36 hours. USC Medical Center in Los Angeles. Doctor countdown 40%. Doctors can't find gas to get to work. Surgeon mid-operation says, "We're out of gas, can't get home." Team sleeps at hospital. Bellevue Hospital in New York, running out of generator diesel. ICU patients switch to manual ventilation. Nurses taking turns pumping. 3 patients lost. Texas Medical Center in Houston. Dialysis patients can't get treatment. Machines down from power cuts. Patients dying at home. Mayo Clinic in Phoenix. Ambulance fleet parked. No diesel. Jackson Memorial in Miami. Woman giving birth when power cuts in OR. Stitched by candlelight. Baby healthy but mother gets infection. Antibiotic stocks depleted. Philadelphia cancer patient can't get to chemo session. No taxis, metro down, no ambulance. Dies at home. CDC announces from Atlanta. Preventable medical deaths up 340% in last 10 days. But nobody listening anymore. Everyone fighting their own war. Disaster #1. European banking system lockdown. March 2. Deutsche Bank. Main servers in Frankfurt. Critical failure. Power outages triggered backup systems repeatedly. Now crashed. Customers can't withdraw from ATMs. Online banking down. Credit cards declined. BNP Paribas in Paris, same situation. Barclays ATMs in London saying, temporarily out of service. Long queues at HSBC branches, demanding cash but vaults empty. Santander branch in Madrid, customers screaming, glass breaking. Unicredit banker in Rome. Police barricades out front. Molotov thrown at Intesa Sanpaolo headquarters in Milan. ING bank servers in Amsterdam completely crashed. Customer accounts not showing on screens. Don't know if you have money or not, says bank employee who gets beaten. Erste bank teller in Vienna can't give customer 5,000 euros cash, can't see your money in system. Customer has heart attack. KBC bank branch in Brussels closing. EDUPSO windows won't break. In Athens, Greek banks hadn't recovered since 2015 crisis. Now collapsing again. Old man kneeling and crying in front of Piraeus Bank. Saved my whole life, where's my money? Electronic banking era ending. Cash era returning. But no cash either. Days 26 to 30. New dark age. Disaster #woe. France's yellow vests too. attacks on government buildings. March 3, Paris, 9 a.m. 40,000 people in front of Élysée Palace. No yellow vests anymore. Black clothes. Molotov cocktails, rocks. Slingshots. Presidential Guard, Garde Républicaine, forms cordon. Protesters tear down metal barriers. CRS, police firing rubber bullets. 12 head injuries. Champs. Élysée completely on fire. Luxury boutiques looted but not for theft anymore, for rage. A protester breaks Dior window, goes in, rips mannequin heads off, throws them in street. "Here's your collapse," he screams. Clashes on Rue de Rivoli. 3 police officers beaten. Finance Ministry building at Montparnasse firebombed. Bureaucrats inside evacuated by helicopter from roof. Lyon City Hall taken over. Marseille Port Authority building stormed. Toulouse tax office burned. Bordeaux police station besieged. European Parliament building windows in Strasbourg smashed. Symbolic action. Normandy farmers forming convoy with tractors toward Paris. Army deployed in Nice. Macron besieged in Élysée Palace. Leaves Paris by helicopter at midnight. Destination undisclosed. France, 1,789, 1,848, 1,968. Catching scent of revolution in its history again. But this time, blood smells stronger. Disaster #23. Looting in 50 U.S. cities, National Guard deployed. March 4. Starts on Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles. Supermarket looted. Spreads to Beverly Hills within hours. Gucci store on Rodeo Drive smashed, looted. LAPD tries to intervene, but excessive force controversy. Cops hesitant. Chicago South Side completely out of control. The Magnificent Mile shopping district on Michigan Avenue leveled. Fires in Bronx and Queens in New York. NYPD helicopters broadcasting from air. Stay home. Nobody listening. Electronics stores on Market Street in Philadelphia emptied. Detroit, looting so widespread police not even responding anymore. Atlanta Buckhead neighborhood, rich hiring private security, armed guards at gates. Miami South Beach tourist area completely closed. Houston Galleria Mall closing but too late, 200 people trapped inside, panic. Dallas Highland Park wealthy neighborhood erecting barricades. Trespassers will be shot, signs. Phoenix, Arizona State Guard hitting streets, M4 rifles, armored vehicles. Seattle Capitol Hill anarchists declare free zone, 2020 repeat, but this time trying to take federal buildings too. Portland already norm chaos anyway. Las Vegas Strip closed, casinos dark, generators dead. President addressing nation from White House. Stay calm. Order will be restored. But images from streets say something else. Order ended long ago. Disaster hashed. 2-4. EU summit. Cancelled. Union. Starting to crack. March 5. Emergency EU summit planned in Brussels. Cancelled. Some leaders couldn't come. No gas, no planes, no security. Macron can't leave France. Country in chaos. Italian PM Meloni managing power outage crisis in Rome. German Chancellor coordinating martial law in Berlin. Polish PM trying to solve refugee crisis at Ukraine border. Ukrainians fleeing war can't enter Europe anymore. Freezing at border. Hungary's Orban announces, EU couldn't protect us. We're going our own way. Budapest signs special energy deal with Russia. Violates EU rules but nobody can stop it. Slovakia takes similar step. Czech Republic says, suspending Schengen. Borders closing. Austria stringing barbed wire at borders. Italy turning back migrant boats in Mediterranean. Some sinking. EU border agency Frontex not intervening. Greece already built wall at Turkey border, now mining it. Spain and Portugal pulling back behind Pyrenees natural border. Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg say, Benelux Union reactivated. Nordic countries strengthening Nordic Council. European Union, 70-year peace project, fragmenting in minutes. EU flag flying alone on pole in Brussels. Wind blowing, fabric torn. Disaster #12. Global supply chain, completely stopped. New dark age. March 6. Singapore port, world's busiest container port, 87% capacity drop. Cranes stopped. 60,000 containers waiting. Rotterdam port similar. Long Beach, Los Angeles ports ghost town silent. Container ships anchored at Shanghai Yangshan port in China, waiting. But where will they go? No buyers in Europe, no buyers in US. Global trade volume down 68% in 30 days. iPhone parts manufactured in Taiwan, but can't reach Apple. Gearbox for Volkswagen made in Slovakia not getting to Wolfsburg. T-shirts sewn in Bangladesh for Zara can't reach Spain. Amazon warehouses out of stock, no deliveries. FedEx, UPS fleets parked. DHL stopped European operations. Maersk has 80% of shipping fleet waiting in ports, no fuel, no destination. Global economy, just in time, supply system built since 1950s, collapsed. Now only local exists. But local production also stopped. Farmer in Germany couldn't plant tomatoes. Seeds from Spain not coming. Fertilizer from Holland not coming. Tractor no diesel. Bakery in Italy closed. Flour came from Ukraine, not coming anymore. Butcher in France can't cut meat. Animal feed imported. No feed. Animals starving. No slaughter. Kansas farmer in US planted wheat but can't harvest. Combine harvester part was coming from Germany. Didn't come. World went back 500 years. Globalization dead. But localization wasn't ready either. Closing, day 30, the 7th of March, 2026. When that Istanbul summit failed, nobody could have predicted this. 30 days. Just 30 days. Oil from Strait of Hormuz stopped, and civilization's mask fell. Freezing deaths in Europe, street battles, bank collapses, martial law. Looting in US, unemployment, hospital crisis, National Guard. Global trade stopped. Markets melted 35%. Middle class erased. Poor got poorer. Rich fled. This is just a scenario. For now. But protests in Iran are real. The drone the US shot down is real. The February 6 summit is real. And the Strait of Hormuz, the world's oil artery, is still open. But for how long? Could you survive these 30 days? Got food at home? Gas tank full? Cash on hand? Or are you one of the billions who collapse when the system collapses? Write in the comments, because one day this scenario could be real. And that day the unprepared will be the first to go.